So what do you do when you think you may be being poisoned by the food that is supposed to be keeping you healthy? This summer has been a massive challenge with fruits and vegetables, y'all. The gems I guess I'm going to drop today are about making sure that the fruits and vegetables that you're buying and consuming that is supposed to keep you healthy, keep you well, keep you disease free is not what's making you sick. That's going to be the lesson for today. So there are three fruits that I purchased this summer that have given me cause for concern. Like, are we being poisoned? Are they toxic? What the heck are we buying? I am at a loss for words. And what I do know for sure, it's definitely the first summer that I have experienced this. Welcome back to my channel, Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, where we talk all things wellness, travel, and finance from a cultural point of view. If you are interested in hearing more about these topics and lessons that I have learned from experts, from personal experience, from people like you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next video, and share with a friend. As I'm out here, earringless, makeupless, sweaty. I have just come back from my daily exercise. I just completed 4.06 miles, almost 7,800 steps. I am in the process of training for a 5K. What a perfect time to go ahead and record this video. It's a video that I actually had on my heart for a minute, and then I saw this other video. There's a channel called Homestead Heart. Hold on a second, my lips are a little chapped. Sorry, I got a little gloss. Again, just came from a run. There's a channel called Homestead Heart, and it's a couple who is their channel is all about farming and eating whole, clean, organic from their farm, organic foods, whole foods, real whole foods. And the video that really caught my attention was called
I think I was poisoned.
And this summer has been really challenging living in New York, finding food and fruits, specifically fruits, finding weird fruit that is doing things that it has never done before. So on the Homestead Heart channel, she also did a video about fake watermelon, which was a update to her video about her eating toxic watermelon. In the video where she says she believes she had toxic watermelon, the watermelon came from somebody who had previously been like a reputable farmer. And at first I thought she said that her husband was given the watermelon from this person's farm. But then I think she updated to say that the farmer received the watermelon from somebody else. And I believe that they were saying that they were able to harvest extra watermelon. For some reason, it was just more than they had harvested before, so they were giving them away. And so again, keep in mind, this couple, they are farmers themselves, and they also harvest watermelon, and they sell watermelon seeds as well. Well, anyway, her husband accepts 3 watermelons at, I believe it was at his job. He brings the watermelons home, and she eventually opens one up. She opens it up and she's going to make her grandkids some watermelon treats. Well, she decides to taste it to see, the sweetness or whatever. And she said immediately her throat started burning. Her throat was on fire. And she was startled. And I'm gonna link to their video as well. Again, it's Homestead Heart, just in case I forget. Homestead Heart's channel, and it's called the video is called Toxic Watermelon. And so her throat started burning. Then a little while later, her stomach started burning. Her stomach was on fire. And then her mouth gets this weird coating. And she's like, what the heck? She noticed that as she left the watermelon cut open on her counter, and because they are farmers, she said they always have fruit flies like flying around in their home, and it doesn't bother them. And they're used to the fruit flies. But what she noticed was no fly would land on the watermelon. Not one fly would land on the watermelon. And like she said, flies land on everything. If you know, you know, flies land on everything. Poop, any type of food or rotting food that they find, any type of rotting food that they come across, flies are going to land on it, right? And her video was clear that absolutely no flies were landing on this particular watermelon, which gave her cause for concern. So the video is called Toxic Watermelon, Was I Poisoned? And she believes that she was absolutely poisoned, which leads me to the reason that I'm making this video is because this summer I have made a concerted effort to eat mostly fruits and vegetables and some fish, right? I am pescatarian, but I wanted to even cut back on the fish. And so, in order to do that, I started going to the farmers markets. There are trucks that come from the south with watermelons, black seed watermelons that I have frequented in many years prior to this. And I'm going to insert a couple of pictures of what my fruit looked like. And I know how to pick watermelons. My family's from the South. I spent many summers in the South with my grandparents who, you know, in the summertime, we looked forward to our little watermelon slices and every single cookout we went to. After we went swimming in the ocean, and, you know, we would come back and have our little watermelon slices. And so, and I'm going to insert another video of when I was in the South at a Gullah Geechee festival. I stopped and spoke with a gentleman who was selling watermelons from his truck, and he took us through a process on how to tell if a watermelon is sweet or not. And many of the things, there's something really shocking that he showed, so watch the video. But many of the things that he showed, you know, I was used to. But there was one thing that I was like, oh, wow, this is something new. Because, you know, my grandparents had never did that, or anyone else in my family, my father or my mother, when they, you know, purchased watermelons, I had never seen them do this before. So, anywho, so
when you want to gauge a watermelon, tell if it's ready, watch this pine needle move. If it don't move on that watermelon, don't buy it.
wow. And show them on this one too, Mr. Curtis Johnson.
Okay.
Look at that.
And it's sitting flat. The watermelon is sitting flat. The pine straw is sitting flat. It'll move counterclockwise. If it was all the way flat, it'll spin around in a circle. But this pine straw here, if it don't move, there's no wind out here. Am I right or wrong?
No wind. It's hot and humid.
It's hot and humid. There's no wind. If that pine straw don't move, don't buy that watermelon. Don't buy it.
Look, y'all.
I'm gonna make sure you take care of. I promise you that.
And this is ours right here. This is the one we picked out from Mr. Curtis, and he showed us his trick. First, he showed us the hollow sound. Then it was yellow on the back. And then he got the pine straw and showed us that this is a good sweet one. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. The other thing that the Hearts talked about was making sure you start to hoard seeds. Get Get you some organic seeds, start hoarding them, because what is being produced now is not what our parents or grandparents used to consume. And if you don't know, there's actually new labeling systems. And I'm going to, again, show you what those numbers mean. So the next time you're in the supermarket and you purchase these so called fruits or vegetables, you'll know exactly what you're purchasing. I will also caution that even when it comes to like bananas. So the two other, let's just get into that. The two other fruits that I gave me pause this summer were bananas and limes. And I'm going to tell you what happened in both instances. I'm not really a big breakfast person. I like to do a smoothie or a quick banana in the morning, especially when the days that I work out in the morning. It's something quick, it's something simple, and I could grab and go. Well, I had purchased some bananas in a very unripe state. And I usually like to do it that way because bananas, especially if they're organic, they will ripen quickly and go bad quickly. And so I think I had already had some bananas. So when I got these bananas, I was like, okay, I want them green, more green than yellow. So did what I always do, left them in my banana fruit bowl in the kitchen. And when I tell you, 2 weeks later, the bananas were the same green as when I originally purchased them. I'm going to show you the green color that they were. And that's the same green color that they were over 2 weeks later when I finally tossed them. That had never, ever, 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 ever happened to me before. And I don't care what anyone says online. There were people like, oh, just put it in a brown paper bag and it will turn yellow. And I was like, yeah, no, I never had to do that before. Now, you can do that if you want to rush the process, right? To make them ripe. I didn't need to rush the process because, like I said, I had already had some bananas, but I had just bought these, because I knew I probably had like a couple left. And so I bought a few more so that would last me through the week. And they never, ever, ever began to ripen. That was a little scary to me. That was a lot scary to me. The other fruit that gave me cause for concern were limes. Oh my goodness. If you haven't watched my soursop video, I'm going to insert that here as well. I take soursop bitters on a regular basis. I also drink lime tea on a regular basis. And I keep limes. And I use the limes for the soursop bitters to get rid of the taste because the taste is horrific, but the benefits are amazing. So it's worth it to me to go ahead and suffer through the taste, but then I chase it with lime juice, fresh lime juice. I also sometimes in the morning, I'll just drink lime water with honey or agave just to get my system going. And I'll also do lime on if I have fish, seafood, whatever, I'll put some fresh lime juice. So I keep limes. This was the first time that I purchased limes that one never started turning another color. Like the green that they were when I purchased them was the same green that it stayed. Now, I will say I got these from like a market. They didn't have like the numbers that I showed earlier. So I got it from like a market, like a farmer's market, an unofficial farmer's market. And when I cut them open, no seeds whatsoever. I pre-squeeze. So in the mornings, I could just, I don't have to cut them every morning. So I pre-squeeze, keep them in the refrigerator. The way it looked, the juice looked, it just looked different. It didn't appear to ever start getting rancid in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I think they were fake limes. I'm not sure. Like I said, there was no tag on them to see where they came from. But because it was a market, I really thought it would have been safe. That's usually where I feel safest, because as you know, places like some of these specialty markets are now using GMO products in many of their what used to be organic foods and dishes. And so I, especially in the summertime, will prefer a farmer's market over any other type of store, especially for fruits and vegetables. And I love supporting local farmers. I mean, I feel like I'm giving back, but now I'm second guessing that and concerned about the state of our food supply. I know farmers have gone through a lot between, you know, losing crops for bad weather. Also, there was a lot of issues, and people are still just getting back from, 2020, 2021, 2022. But if you are a farmer or you know of a farmer, can you let me know in the comments, like, what is going on and why our food supply is being compromised? It's definitely being compromised. I don't care what anyone says. It's absolutely being compromised. And I need answers. And I think the people need answers. As you can see, I'm out here trying to stay fit. I'm out here getting my miles in. I'm out here wanting to eat the right things. But are the right things really the right things? And that's where I'm at. That's the big question of this year. I have never had problems with fruits and vegetables. I mean, I've also had issues with salads, not even the leaves, not even tasting like real leaves, like they taste like they have some type of plastic in them, or they don't go bad like they used to, as quick as they used to. Like they're being sprayed with something to, I guess, make them last longer through the shipping or whatever, but the taste is different and it's concerning. And so that leads me into the video that I just watched that made me also want to do this video, because it's scary. It is little what the Hearts have talked about on Homestead Hearts channel. It's scary. And these are people that know about farming. And I know it seems like she was holding back a little bit as not to really scare people, which is why I want to hear from people, you the people, on what exactly is happening, because something is happening, and that is for sure. So as I stay committed to share on this channel about wellness, especially as it relates to Black and brown people who suffer in higher numbers, the disparity is so great when it comes to certain illnesses. I can't just talk about gems and tricks that I learned without talking about personal experiences that I've had as well when it comes to shopping for these so-called healthy foods. There's one place that I still shop where I don't have any type of concerns at this moment, and it's the Amish markets. The Amish markets have still been the best of the best. I get my herbs from there. The herbs go bad if you don't use them within a certain amount of time or package them so that they could stay fresher longer. The fruits and vegetables are doing what they've been doing. And so shout out to the Amish people because what they're not doing, what these other farmer markets that I've been used to patronizing are now, I guess, either forced to do or being hoodwinked and bamboozled. I don't know, but it's scary. So do me a favor again and share any stories that you've had with fruits and vegetables this summer. I want to know if this is a Northeast thing, because when I was in Mexico in May, I didn't have that problem. Like every place I went, the fruit still seemed very organic. I mean, I do know that they have some foods in the mega stores. They have fruits that are GMO. They definitely have GMO fruits. But as far as having fruits that are taking on a different type of life, or not going bad. Like, what's going on with that? So here are some of the pictures, and I'll insert a video of the watermelon that I got from a reputable truck that is known for bringing their watermelons from the South, supposedly from I forgot the name of the farm, but it's a black seed watermelon farm in the South. And this year, it's not like this is just a bad watermelon. If you could have touched and felt the texture, something was off. Something was completely off with this watermelon. And of course, well, let's just get into the video.
So here's the watermelon that I ended up throwing away. I've never seen a hollowed out center before, not sure what caused it. I've heard everything from poisonous to toxic and nitrate overload.
Let's get into some of the pictures.
It looked like no other watermelon I had ever seen. Here's an example of the watermelon from Mr. Johnson. Isn't she lovely? And she was quite tasty too. Looks very different, doesn't it? So it was no need to take a risk and try to find out.
This was around 4th of July weekend because I was cutting it up to take out for a cookout. And the whole thing had to get tossed. And I've seen bad watermelons before. Usually I can spot a bad watermelon before purchasing. This one had all the makings of a nice, ripe, sweet, juicy, red, black-seeded watermelon. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong. And so it broke my heart because I was supposed to bring the watermelon to the cookout, and unfortunately, I was unable to do that. But again, like I said, it's not just this watermelon. I've heard of other people having issues buying watermelon from places that they never had issues before. And that's the scary part. Like, it'd be one thing if you try someplace new and it's like, oh damn, what's going on? But these are places that, you know, we have been loyal customers for years upon years, and unfortunately no longer getting the same quality. And another thing that I learned from the Hearts video is that so many people talk about, you know, the white seeds being GMO watermelons. And that's not true at all. Watermelons can have white seeds, black seeds, brown seeds, marble seeds, a combination. And it's really just the cross pollination of seeds that creates another form of watermelon. That doesn't make the watermelon not organic. It's just a new breed of watermelon. And so that was interesting. And I've heard that before from a watermelon farmer, but he didn't explain it the way they did. And it was a great breakdown. It made me feel more comfortable when I see an organic watermelon and I cut it open. And if it doesn't have black seeds, I'm not going to lose my mind. But yeah, so tell me your thoughts about what's going on with our food supply, especially our fruit and vegetables. And tell me what your experience has been. I really want to know. And I want to share this information. These fruits are not cheap. They're not inexpensive. The watermelon that I bought here that was definitely compromised was $25. Now that same watermelon in South Carolina, $10. So we're not talking about, you know, just pennies, right? It's not like they're giving these things away for free, which I'm glad, but like the story with the Hearts. But yeah, I just have to be mindful where I get my fruits. Now, when I travel, because I do have some travel coming up, like even being in Europe and overseas, I have not run into these problems. Like the fruits and vegetables are amazing. And so whatever's happening is definitely real. And this, like I said, is my first summer experiencing it. And I don't know what to do because I definitely love fruits and vegetables. In the summertime, I could eat fruits and vegetables, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I don't know what to do. What do you guys do? How do you pick out good fruit and vegetables? Or do you care? Do you just eat whatever the supermarket is, has in stock? But let me know. Anyway, until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that like button. Again, comment below. Let us know what you're doing. Share this video with someone who is on the same type of journey in trying to get fit and healthy and maybe running into these same problems and don't know they exist. And turn on the notification bell for this channel. Again, I'm Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, and I'll see you soon. Stay healthy. Make sure you get your daily intake of water. Very important.